Behold, I am the master of the 7 demons from hell, and I shall unleash it upon you. Use my power! What's that happening? What is happening? What is happening? Power is there seems to be an interruption from the outside world. I have to seize the connection right now. Well, that's gone. Oh wow, this hurt. What's up, guys? This is vanilla. Not the flavor, but just the sweet. I really gotta take this off. It's hurting my eye again. Have you ever had that feeling that you might not be what you think you are? That you might be someone special, someone from another world, perhaps? Have you ever been entrapped by your delusions of grandeur? If yes, then you might have Chuunibyou, or 8th grade syndrome. Now, you may have heard this word from anime and such, but it's actually a real thing here. And because it's become so common in entertainment mediums, one has to ask, is it a threat to society? Does it have any relevance in a person's growth? We'll answer all that and more in the defense of 8th grade syndrome. First off, what is 8th grade syndrome? Simply put, it's a behavioral change for 14 or 15-year-olds or 8th graders where they comfort themselves in delusions of grandeur. Most people suggest that kids in this age bracket experience this phenomenon due to the pressure inflicted by school tests. So in order to avoid that pressure, they imagine themselves in a state of illusion, believing all problems would be solved by doing such. But you may be asking, but Chuunibyou is only found in Japan, right? That's why it's called Chuunibyou in the first place, hey? Well, believe it or not, it actually exists in other countries as well. According to Mr. Naito, a psychology professor at Keio University, naturally, children overseas also have a thought similar to 8th grade syndrome. However, it's treated differently in Japan. If a child puberty says, I am the reincarnation of XX of the Warring States period, we say yeah and tolerantly accept it. But overseas, there are cases where the decision would be, let's go to a hospital. Even if the actions are the same, the way it is treated varies by country. That sounded kind of racist. Let's just cut that out. No? Oh, okay. So yes, it does actually exist. It comes in different forms, and we all react differently due to this phenomenon because of cultural background. For example, here in my country, we have what we call isip bata. Now, literally, it can be translated into childish, but the meaning itself is actually different. Actually, it shares the same definition, but there's a tiny bit of a difference. While isip bata people could only be done by probably someone from the adolescent stage, it can also mean mind of a child, meaning all age brackets are included in this. Of course, as long as they have a child's mind. And yes, I was one of those people. So anyway, back to topic. So does Chuunibyou pose a bad effect on the child and the people around him or her? Personally, I don't think so. Why? Well, there are a lot of reasons. But I'll only enumerate 3 because that's the standard number of this channel. I guess I love number 3, maybe? I don't know. One perk of having 8th grade syndrome is it gives him or her who has that syndrome a sense of imagination that most adults would kill for. Okay, not literally, but you get the point. The person with this syndrome usually comes up with ideas that nobody would even think of. As a result of their world building, they have just created the next big thing in anime and manga. Okay, real talk here, real talk. Let me talk about my experience. When I was like 12 or 13 years old, I was also in the 8th grade, I started writing novelettes about my adventures in the underworld. Of course, I also documented some of my dreams prior to that one, but that dream thing actually has nothing to do with Chuunibyou, so let's just focus on the novelette. Usually, when kids with this syndrome grow out of their shells, they feel very embarrassed and throw them away and try to forget everything about their dark ages. But it's thanks to these dark ages that I further developed my writing skills and soon became a writer myself. So I'm telling you right now, do not discard the stuff you had during those times. It will help you in the future, I promise you. One thing 8th grade syndrome can do better than any stress reliever is that it shows us how anything is possible. Thus, there are no limits on what to think of. There are no rules. And it's due to the egocentric ideals that occupies the person's mind. And if you think about it, it makes sense that it's called 8th grade syndrome. Because during the period wherein they're already getting used to middle school, while they're also moving on to high school. It's during this time the children are confused on what to do or what they should be doing while they're in 8th grade. Now, that can count as stressors, but another factor that might have led to the stress could be the awareness of the child nearing the state of adulthood. By this time, the child denies the idea of growing up, and they struggle to suppress this idea by believing an outside force could stop him or her reaching adulthood. So the next time you're stressed out, why not try acting like a kid with ability? You never know, it might actually help. Most people reject having memories of Chuunibyou because, first of all, it's embarrassing, and second of all, it produces guilt which we cannot live with. While it is true that it's embarrassing, it does not actually produce guilt. In fact, it's actually the opposite that's happening over here. Despite being cringy, your experiences during this time actually make up for unforgettable memories. It's always fun to go back to those times, for it reminisces your childhood days. For what it's worth, you'd have more memories of your childhood than a person who lived his life in a dull manner. What's more is that it made you stand out, making you more memorable to those who experienced it with you. Sure, it might be embarrassing, but it is better to have been remembered and embarrassed than to never be remembered at all. Unless you're the descendant of the 4th grade sword who embarrassed us! Now, come and join me, and we shall find the underworld together. So what do you guys think? Is Chuunibyou a bad thing, or does it also contribute to your childhood memories? The underworld implores you to put your answers in the comments below. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, and if you did enjoy, please like this video and also subscribe down there for more videos like this. As always, this is vanilla, not the flavor, but just the sweet.